Hi guys, this is Zangiefsgym, Timothy here. So I'm moving along in the series here on how to fight Menat with Zangief, and this is 0.8 today. So I am going to get this loaded and get into training mode here. But today we'll be covering the standing hard kick with and without the crystal ball. So apparently she has two variations of this move. Now I can't say that I've actually really seen both variations, so it's going to be interesting. I usually see the with the crystal ball version because I don't think a lot of Menat players are so willing to give up that crystal ball very often. They generally tend to hold right onto it. So I haven't seen both variations, so this will be new to me. So let's take a look here. I'm going to get that recorded. Again, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate that. Appreciate your time. Okay, so that's a hard kick. Oh yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah. Okay, so now what we need to do is get rid of the, get rid of the crystal ball. Okay. So, since I just had her throw it out, we will. Okay, what do I want to do? Okay, we'll cover the without the crystal ball first. Okay, and then we'll go into with the crystal ball. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, so it literally looks pretty much the same as it just did. The only difference is going to be the speed. Which we've been seeing that trend, right? Right, guys? We've been seeing this trend. We've been looking at her different normals, and we've seen so far that whenever she has the crystal ball in her hand, the startup frames are longer. There's more frames involved with the startup. Usually, every time she has a crystal ball. And then generally, I'm just trying to look back here a little bit for reference purposes. Yeah. For the most part, she's usually negative frames whenever she has a crystal ball in her hand. Generally, as a rule of thumb, she usually has negative frames, either on hit or on block. Now, of course, on hit, she's not that negative, right? Because she has the advantage. Whenever a player hits another player, they have they have a greater advantage or less of a negative advantage. But whenever the opponent, whenever Menat hits us and we block it, she generally has far less of an advantage. She can have a little bit of advantage depending on the move, but just looking at the crystal ball, other than the standing light punch, everything else is pretty much negative. Pretty much negative every single time she does anything with the crystal ball. So far. We'll see how it plays out on the crouches, but we're not quite there yet. Although we are getting there, because it's actually the last video on the standing normals that I'm going to cover. Because this is going to cover the standing hard kick with and without the crystal ball. So yeah, next thing I'll be doing is a crouching light punch. So, alright, so this is the last standing normal. So standing normal, hard kick without the crystal ball, like I said, we'll cover that first because I've already got it set up that way. So the frame data on this is 9 startup frames. And if she, on block, she's positive 2 frames. On hit, she's positive 7 frames, so we really don't want to be caught with this one too often because that's going to give her a huge advantage. Only +2 on block though, so it basically means if we block this hit, it's her turn, but she can't punish us with anything if we block it. Now this is without the crystal ball I'm referring to right now. Okay, so let's look at that. The range wasn't real big on that, right? So let's start it up again and look for a couple seconds. And okay, so the range isn't real big. So what can we do with that? Let's start punishing. Let's start punishing her. Medium punch. Medium punch. It lands. Okay, no trade there. We have the advantage on that. So that's the medium punch. Let's see. Medium kick. Oh. I guess we have to be a little careful. Yeah, we have to be a little careful with that one. Just make sure you're out of range. Make sure you're out of range of that one. And I got hit once or twice. I'm not really sure about that. I think it could just have been my timing with the kick. Yeah. So okay. So we have to be a little careful with that kick. And I keep doing the knee hammer. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the standing medium kick is, we could get it. We have to be a little more careful with that. That's the takeaway. I probably wouldn't risk that as much. It looked like the the standing medium punch, you know, was a better bet. It looks like you can still be hit with that too. So mediums, use caution. Use caution with standing mediums when you're playing against Menat, against this kick specifically. Okay, so I'm guessing though that the strongs are going to comfortably nail her. So I'm guessing that. Yep, standing strong. This is a unique attack. Forward, strong punch. That's the headbutt. That's a unique attack. Looks like we can get her most of the time. Of course, you can be in danger a little bit. So if you hit her with that, follow it up, right? Don't leave yourself open. If you hit her with that, follow it up. If you can't reach the standing light kick because you're too far out, just go for the lariat. Even if it doesn't combo, you're still going to hit her. So, yeah, so that means the lariat's a safe option. All right, let's make sure. Yep, the lariat's a safe option. Standing strong, you know, I had no doubts this would be good. Yeah, that's really. In fact, at the conclusion of some of these videos, I'm definitely gonna say that thus far, when you're dealing with Menats normals, standing normals, you can basically put a lot of confidence in that standing hard punch. You know, we talked about there was one or two that were a little shaky, not so sure that we would land it, but for the most part, I think the hardest one was like the standing medium punch with the crystal ball, just because the range was so good on that. But we covered that too, right? Zangief gets upper body armor on frame 3 with this standing hard punch. Let me confirm that. Yes, FrameData app confirms that Zangief gains upper body armor on frame 3 of the standing hard punch. Regardless of, and it goes all the way through. It says here in the full charge, upper body armor frames from frame 3 all the way through frame 33, and I've got her on autopilot, and I must be driving you guys mad by now. Oh, I'm sorry. I watch back these videos and I'm like, oh man, that must be so annoying. I'm sorry. I really do apologize. I try to pay attention to that. The upper body armor frames are from 3 all the way through 33. So if you decide to hold for the full charge, you're getting upper body frame. The only thing I would say about that is if you're constantly doing the really long charge, people are going to come up to you and just crouch kick you, right? They'll do one that reaches further, you know, for example. You know, Menat has some that reach further. They'll just do stuff like that. So just be a little cautious about always doing the full charge. Maybe use that, you know, throughout. I mean, generally you're pretty safe though. I mean, you get that upper body armor, they can jump kick you, she can do the kick up in the air. You're going to be covered from, you know, from multiple options. You're going to protect yourself against multiple options that Menat can do. However, your lower body is not armored, so that's something to be aware of. An opponent paying attention to that, or an opponent that knows Zangief might sneak in there and start doing some low attacks. So just be aware of that. You know, maybe sometimes release it a little quicker. You know, but that's a good option, right? We had no trouble doing that. The standing strong kick, standing yes, the headbutt, standing strong punch, and the headbutt. With a little bit of caution on the headbutt. Timing is going to be a little bit more of a factor there. And the mediums, we want to get the timing good on the mediums. If we're going to do mediums, we certainly can. I just did it. Another medium, I just did it. Boom, hit her. Standing strong, just hit her. Standing strong, just hit her. So most of the time we can get away with most of Zangief's normals. Look at that. I think I can even knee hammer that. But see, you get caught with the knee hammer. You get caught doing the knee hammer, and she catches you just right. You're gonna get knocked almost full screen. So I would just knowing that, I would say don't go that route. I wouldn't choose that route. Be very careful. Like if your timing's like now, see if your timing's really good, like you catch her right in between. If you block it, then hit her or something, good, you can do that. Because when you block this, I'll load her frame up. I was in Zangief. Okay, so in her frame data, yeah, if you block this standing, oh, again, I'm doing it again. I'm letting her spam. The standing hard kick is, okay, +2 on block. So she's got a little bit of frame advantage, but you still can get out of there because she can't really do anything. She needs at least 3 frames to do any attacks. That standing light kick is 3 frames. Okay, so we covered the normals. We can do any medium with caution. and we can do the standing strong kick, standing strong punch, and we can do the headbutt with caution. That's forward hard punch. That's considered a unique attack of Zangief. That's also a possibility, and for the most part seems to be fairly safe, but use that with caution. I would group that with the mediums. The medium standing attacks, use caution, as well as the standing headbutt, which is Zangief's unique attack, use caution. The standing strongs you can do pretty safely, it appears. The lariat is also a safe option, as we've already seen. Oh, well. Yeah, she can still catch us. So I guess that's always a factor, right? I mean, we can be safe to do it. Most of the time, your timing will be pretty good. I mean, you don't have to be perfect here. I mean, it looks like if you catch her just on the right lip, she'll nick you. But other than that, you're probably going to be pretty safe. I mean, you can just watch her and, oh, you know, whoops, I was a little early, but let her do it, and then, okay, you know. And so if you're not careful with that, it can be a bad option. So maybe I would put the lariat in with the mediums and the headbutt. I would say those are all like, be caution when you exercise caution when you do those. The safest options are the two standing strongs. Now let's see, besides the standing strongs, let's see what else we can do. Can we EX Siberian Express? There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Can we do that? I'm absolutely positive we can, because we can absorb a hit. So with any of her normals, we're pretty much good to go. We can take a hit and we're not going to be punished for that. Oops, not the normal though, the EX. So you can EX that, that's fine. That's another possibility. Okay, so what about a light? No, see her, oh, she's, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh man, I totally spaced that. She got the ball back in her hand. That changes things. We're not even talking about that right now, so I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Let her throw that back out, because I don't want to give you bad information. The whole point is to be a legit guide that you can trust. Okay, that's what I want it to be for you guys. Something you can take away. Always take what I say with a grain of salt, though. You might have to try it. Some things might have to be tweaked and assessed, but generally I'm experimenting here, and you guys get to experiment with me, so that's pretty cool. I wanted to see if the light SPD is a possibility. Ooh, maybe maybe that's a possibility. Can we do that almost any time, or are we gonna? Now you notice though, when she, yeah, depending on when she kicks, you have to watch that, because you can get hit. Looks like I can just sit here and do this. Now this is assuming she'll keep doing it. I mean, obviously a real opponent might do that and then go right into a medium punch or a light punch. She might throw in an EX special. You're not going to get her to just do one thing, right? So that's not always, but just be aware, you know, you're outside of her kicking range. I don't think that's the case with the crystal ball though, which is kind of what we were just seeing, because she basically sticks the ball on her foot. So she gets more range, so that's probably not going to happen. But this is a possibility. If she drops the ball and she tries to do a standing hard kick, we can get in there. Yeah, just don't dash in the range. Oh. Input. I'm just so afraid she's gonna hit me. I screw the input up. There we go. See, that's definitely excuse me. That's definitely a possibility. Standing light punch. Only the light punch SPD is gonna be good there. And I know we always want to do the strong if we can, right, guys? We don't want to disadvantage ourselves and put her at a distance. We don't want to do that. We always want her close to us so we can punish her frequently and often, as much as possible. So, yeah, that said, so that looks like those are our options there. You know, iron muscle. When would an iron muscle come into play? Well, I don't know. Would you really need to? I think I would most of the time save the iron muscle for when she's being aggressive, and you actually need it as, you know, you need it as a way to protect yourself from constantly being mauled, and you just want to try to gain some advantage so you can try to punish her. You know, might not always be an SPD, but you know, if you can get that, great. But when you can't, you know, you can just get her off of you a little bit. That gives you a chance to counter and do something else. So That's going to be depending on the situation, of course. Alright, so that's without the crystal ball. So we see the range on that. The range was fair, but I think, you know, this is something I want to try too. But I think it might be a good anti-air against us, so something to be aware of. Yeah, in fact, I'm almost sure of it. No, I didn't time that right. There we go. Yep, so if we time it right, so she kicks us, that's an anti-air for Menat. So just be aware of that. You know, should you go to jump, if you see her kicking a lot, specifically with the hard kick, because we've seen the medium, right, that only goes up to our belly, and the light kick, same thing, it just kicks us basically in the upper leg, somewhere in the upper leg, right in the quad, you know. So the light kick and the medium kick is not an anti-air, but the hard kick for her is an anti-air, so that's something to take note of. And I don't think it'll be any different with the crystal ball. In fact, I think it'll be a little bit harder for us to deal with. But she is more negative frames though with the crystal ball. So let's get her back with the crystal ball. We can move on to that now. I think we've kind of covered the standing hard kick without the crystal ball. I think we've given that a fair go. Okay, restart. She's got the crystal ball. All right, now let's see. You know, I'm assuming most of the takeaways would be pretty much the same, but we'll see. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens. All right. Ooh, look at the arc on that. She can hit us now way out here. Now I can see why Menat players never drop that crystal ball, hardly ever. Now of course I see them always hitting me with it, and you probably notice the same thing. They keep hitting you with it every which way, and it's crazy hard to deal with. But I think in this case you can see just doing that one move. Look at the advantage she has. Now she's a lot slower. We can see her. She's like, and then I do it again, and I gotta do it again, and so it's like, you know, she has to take time to do it, so there's time to interrupt her. That's something I would take note of. You know, standing hard kick with crystal ball, -8 frames on block, -4 frames on hit. So that's pretty bad, and we see how slow she is. But she might be slow, but she covers such a high arc. It's almost like that a northwest plane that she covers, and because she circles her kicks instead of just being a straight kick and then pull back in, because she does more like a crescent kick where it's a round, you know, it's a roundhouse kick more or less, where it has a big circle. I think there's a lot of active frames. Yeah, there's six frames of in the active, you know, in her hitbox on this. Now I didn't cover that on the hard kick without the crystal ball, just for the sake of it, so you guys know that was 3 frames, 3 active frames on her normal standing hard kick without the crystal ball. Now with the crystal ball it's 6, so it's literally doubled, and we can see that practically as we look at her doing that. We can see that practically. It has such a big swoop, such a big arc, and the ball is actually below her foot, which is even worse because that means it can hit us in the head. I mean, Zangief's so tall. Look at that. You know, we don't even have to be that close really. Look at that. She caught me with that. See, I'm not even that close really. We're pretty far away. For an attack that's an anti-air, that's crazy range. And I think this is where it comes along the lines of fighting someone like her is pretty much equivalent to fighting like Doll Sim. How much do you enjoy that? Probably not very much, because it's such a pain, right? Because she has all these moves, like so many different angles are covered. One attack can cover multiple angles and so many active frames. It's just hard for us to get around. However, the standing hard punch is going to be a good option because why? Because we have upper body armor. So I'm going to deliberately get close enough so I can get hit. See? Our armor blocks that hit. Oh, no. Maybe I have to block the first one. Oops. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to do here, guys, but there we go. Too early. I want to time it right, so there we go. But see it when she hits us, it goes right through us. It's you know, we have that armor again. Armor is akin to invincibility, except it does do damage. It's just that it's gray life, right? So if we hit her and we don't get hit for a little while, that gray life will be restored. That gray life will be restored. So that standing strong punch will work in this case. We can counter her with that. I think it's just timing. But we can spare the hit because we'll block it. The hit will be absorbed because of the armor. Now, what about the standing strong kick? You know, I think that's going to be an issue of timing, but because of her recovery time on that attack, it's pretty easy to get around it. So even though it's such a strong move in of itself, because of the negative frames and everything, it's so possible for us to get in, and if she tries to do it again upon startup, she's easily punishable. But you know, we can catch her in this and SPD her. So you know, that would have been true with the without the crystal ball. We could have also done that there. We could have standing strong. Whoop, whoop. I'm getting in. See, when you're this close and she does it, you're probably better off the iron muscle. Yeah, because then you can always SPD her. She can't start that back up fast enough before you can SPD her. So that's something to know. And if you can get the light, you can get the strong if you're close. So that's something to be aware of too. If you iron muscle your way in and release it, you can get the standing strong. Actually, if you're out here though, you know, really though, if you're out here, you have to do the light because you're not going to get anything else. Yeah, you have to do light punch if you're out there. If you're on top of her though, like say upon wake up, she does happen to do the hard kick version. She does the standing hard kick. You know, I doubt she'll wake up with that. But let's just say somehow you were able to get in here, and you kind of, you know, whatever, you're in here and she's doing it, and then you iron muscle her. You can get the standing, you can get the hard punch SPD. So, you know, iron muscle is definitely an option, but you know, that's going to be just working your way in. And honestly, I would probably stand on the outside of it, take no hits at all, and take no risks at all, and just get her with the standing strong. But just watch your timing a little bit on that. You can get punished if you're not careful. But that's a good move. How about the lariat? Will the lariat work here? Yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of catching her in between her doing that kick itself. So you can punish her with a lot of stuff, but you have to do it in between her attacks. I guess that would be the advantage here. While she's not very punishable when her kick is out, she is punishable when her kick is drawn back. And when she's recovering from the kick and it takes her a second to throw her kick back out again, somewhere in between there, you can get in and nail her. So let's do it one more time. Let's see what else. I'm thinking knee hammer, you know? No, she get the counter hit. So the only way you're gonna get the knee hammer is you iron muscle her, and you know, and then you have to be close enough though. Yeah, I wouldn't do the knee hammer route. You're just gonna end up getting hit. So standing strong punch, standing hard kick, catch her in between. You could, no, you can't really. You can't do any of the mediums here. You can catch her in between with a knee hammer, but that's not really advantageous because we're still too far away to really do anything, you know. Maybe, you know, and then we get crush countered, which is devastating. We don't want that. So I would say no mediums on the her standing hard kick with the crystal ball. I would avoid the mediums. I would just do the standing strongs. You could do lariat's possibility, but the timing will have to be in place. If you know, because she can catch you just as well as you can her, so that's going to be risky. Use the lariat with caution. Focus on the standing strong hits. Of course, EX again. EX Siberian Express. That'll work. Not a problem. We can absorb a hit, and as slow as she is with that attack, she's not going to be able to stop us. She's not going to be able to hit us twice while we're running in. Wow. All right. So that's pretty much the options on that. We can crush counter her and dash in for the SPD, because you guys saw that she was doing the attack and I was able to get a crush counter. Yep, SP and go in an SPD. I messed the input up. See if we can get that right. Alright. That's fine. There we go. Oh, yeah! Alright. So hard punch. That's 354 points of damage and 465 stun damage. So that's really good. If we can catch her, I would say that'd be the best counter, right? Because you want all the advantage you can get. Good damage, good stun power, and you know, it's definitely doable. Now, you know, this is a fixed environment where she's not doing anything but that, and I always like to mention that because, you know, that's not really real that she's going to do one attack and one attack only. But it does help though, because, you know, I did a match the other day with Menat. I can't remember if this is a casual or I did lose it though. I didn't post it on the YouTube channel because I got butchered. But even though I got butchered, the first couple of rounds actually went really well. The first round went really well, and the second round did not. Or I should say, it went okay, but not as much. The first round was really good, and I can't get this hard punch in here. So the time will have to be good on that one. I didn't get the crush counter. Watch for the crush counter on this one too, guys. If you just get the hit and make sure you get the crush counter confirmed, or you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna be able to get this SPD dash in, and you might not anyway, because she might just keep dropping to the ground. I'm not sure at what exact point you have to hit her, but I know if you don't catch her doing the move, like I seem to be repeatedly doing, you can't. Yeah, the timing really has to be good on that. There we go. Looks like upon startup you can catch her, so that's cool. That's just an FYI. If you catch her with the startup, you can get it. So back to what I was saying. This is why I think these videos are so helpful. And, you know, and even just doing them to help you guys, I find that I'm experimenting and I'm helping myself. When I fought Menat, she was a really good player. This guy was ranked. You know, I lost some ranked matches, so my rank right now is not very good. I'd like to see my rank a lot better, but my rank's pretty high. It's not very good at the moment. But anyway, I fought her, and I noticed that I did really well on the first round, but something I noticed when I started the match, I was beginning to be able to see right through her moves. I could see that was a standing light, that was a standing strong, that was a standing medium, that was her soul spear attack, her special attack. I could begin to read these things just because of doing these videos. So, you know, just because they're not always going to do this one attack doesn't mean that it doesn't carry over, because you get into a fight with Menat and you've seen this standing hard kick so much, you know what it looks like, and you know she can't pull a wool over your eyes because you know what it looks like. So when you see it, you can say, oh, I know what that is. Okay, I know what that is. I know how I can punish that. I know I can't get any SPD punishes on that one. Oh, I know this one can be punished with mediums. Okay, I'll get in and do some mediums, because why do you want to do mediums? Because they're faster. Hard attacks are slow and they're not really ideal. I will say though, his standing hard punch is one of his best moves, despite being slow, because of the armor on frame 3, and because of the stun power, and because of the crazy range. It's really safe for a hard punch. It's very, very safe. And when you get the SPD counter, it's very well worth the trouble. Okay, it's very well worth it. You could counter and go back into a. Just be careful with that, but. You know, outside of a range, in with the punch. Because even if I don't get the crush counter, which I've been trying to get here for 5 minutes, even when I don't get that, you know, I still get a pretty good deal, right? I mean, that's not bad, even if I screw the input up on the SPD, which I've been doing as well. That's fine, right? That's all good. That's all good. There we go. Got the light that time. But that's fine. I still got a punch, and I still am in an advantageous situation. She can't, you know, you could come in after the crush counter, and you don't have to do the SPD. You could bring that right into a combo, which is just as nice. You could do the headbutt, standing light kick, and then lariat. Right, there it is. Yep, Yep, you can do that, and honestly, that's generally more damage overall than just an SPD anyway. Just because of so many hits, you know, you're hitting her so many times. And these standing hard punches and the standing unique attack, the headbutt unique attack, forward hard punch is so good. It does a lot of damage, and it, you know, you guys know it cancels out projectiles. That's useless against Menat. You know, no projectiles, but that's great against a lot of characters. Akuma, Ryu, excuse me, and Ken. You know, it's beautiful. But here we go. So even if you want to play safe and don't do the SPD, look at your options: crush counter, and even just a lariat. I was out of range. I really couldn't get in there without dashing. You can't get in there very good. So plan on dashing. But if you don't want to dash, you can connect it into a lariat and stay out here a little bit more. Sometimes it's better not to always be directly on top of them. And then down and block, you know, there you go. And then, so there you go. So knock her down, down back block, standing strong, in, SPD, knee hammer, SPD. Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, this is stuff this is why I love testing this stuff. You bring her into training mode. This is your best friend. This is your meat right here, right in the middle of the training mode. This is your meat. You know, it normally looks like this, okay? But what you'd have to do is just press right until you get all the way over to playback recording. Record what you want, play back what you want, you know? And it's just a great way to practice everything. I've been, you know, doing this all week with you guys, and it's a lot of fun. I thank you for watching this, by the way. I really do appreciate that. I don't know if I thank you enough, but I sincerely do appreciate that, because, you know, I like to see that this is helping people. You know, and this is benefiting you as much as it is me. That's cool, you know. Wake up, block, standing strong, knee hammer, SPD. Oh, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. You can do this. You know, again, will she always do that? No. But if you know what your possibilities, standing, wake up, you know, you can just do that. I like what I did a minute ago there, the standing strong, and, you know, timing has to be good on that, but just be quick with it. Don't hold it on that one, guys. And the knee hammer can go into the hard punch SPD. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. I want to look at that, though. Am I just catching her because she's not doing anything, or am I catching her because of her slow startup? What's going on here? So look at the I need to look at the frame data here. I need to see unique moves. This is what I like about the FrameData app. They separate the unique moves and they clarify what they do and what they are. I love that. So the forward medium kick, known as the knee hammer, has a 12 startup frame. When it hits the opponent, we're positive 3 frames. So yes, you can punish out the SPD, because, and this is why, if you watch like some of the top Zangief players, such as Stupendous, and, you know, one of the world's best, it is on. You can watch him on YouTube. You know, it's cool. I love watching those guys. So much fun. But you know, and they do this. But you watch them, and when they do the forward medium kick, the knee hammer, they'll link it right into that SPD. And I was always wondering, I'm like, are they just doing that because the opponent doesn't know how to deal with it, or do they actually have enough frames to work with? Well, I can tell you, most pros will not do moves that are not advantages. So that's generally why you see them stick to some of the primary 3 or 4 attacks, because they're best. But for this sake here, forward medium kick, on hit we got positive 3 frames. So it is possible to SPD, right? Because we're positive 3 frames, and her quickest move is a 3 frame startup. That's a total of 6 frames she would need in order to kick us. She can't do that because we only need 5. So, you know, we can knee hammer right in the SPD, and you can buffer that, guys, too, just on training aspect here. Let me do this again. Okay, we'll knock her down. We're gonna guard, go into this, knee hammer, SPD. So just for the record, what was I gonna say? We knee hammered her, right? So we have frame advantage. Oh man, it lost me. I was gonna say something. Hopefully it'll come back, but whatever. That's okay. But this, you know, this will work. This is a great counter. You know, we can do this. We can, you know, block. And this is true if she does any of her standing normals, right? Well, I take that back. It's not true with every Sanor because we've already seen that she has some attacks that are a lot faster. But if we guard this move, because it has such negative frames, if we guard her standing hard kick, where did the frame data go here? Oh, there we go. Yes, I got it here. Standing hard kick without the crystal ball. We would block it, and she would be positive 2 frames. So that would not be as advantageous. Actually, we wouldn't have much advantage at all. Okay, but on the standing hard kick with the crystal ball, we have huge advantage. On block, she's actually -8 frames. That's that's pretty bad. But now, just talking about her wake up though, if we hit her. Oh, what was I saying? If we block, yeah. So if we block her standing hard kick, because we've got her programmed to keep doing that, right? She's going to keep doing that. So because she's going to keep doing that, we know that. So when she stands up, she's got 11 frames to do that for a startup. Well, that gives us plenty of time to do the standing hard punch, because the standing hard punch is only, I believe 3 frames, or no, we gain armor on 3 frames. So, what do we have here? I'm just trying to figure out so I can give you guys the right information. Yeah, so the standing hard punch is 13 frames startup. So so basically she was -8 or something, right? When we blocked it. So it takes 13 frames for us to start this up, but because we gain armor and we know she's going to do the same attack, the armor would protect us and allow us to go through with that. But it's 11 frames startup. She can't do it. She doesn't have enough time. She's -8 on block of that standing high kick with crystal ball. She's -8 when we block it, and then she takes 11 frames to start up again. So she actually needs 19 frames before she can throw out the next kick. In between our block and her next standing hard kick, there's 19 frames to work with. That's plenty of time to do, let's know if he can actually block it. I might have to stop her so I can get in there for the sake of... Well, anyway, let's knock her down. There we go. Okay. I'm going to stand up, block it. There's plenty of time to do that. So if you press, tap, and then release, you get armor on frame 3. So by the time she gets up and actually starts doing this, well, not get up because we just blocked it, so we didn't knock her down. By the time she recovers from our block, she doesn't have time to do it again before we can punch her. So even though it has a 13 frame startup, block. Oh, I'm going to have to knock her down again, do it again. Block, block, standing hard punch, plenty of time, knee hammer, and we know the knee hammer gives us 6 frame advantage, only 5 for the SPD. Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier. Okay, it came to me now. Wonderful, beautiful. You can input buffer that SPD during the knee hammer. So what I mean by that, if you're not aware of it, that's fine. That's why I like to talk, because this is real, right? We're just training and we're learning things. Not everybody knows everything, and we need to learn to respect each other in that regard. I have utmost respect for everybody listening to this video. Just want you to know that. So 6 frames, right? So we knee hammer her, and we have 3 frames advantage. And then it takes her 3 frames to do her quickest attack, which is the standing light kick. She needs 6 frames. We only need 5 to do the SPD. So what we do is, during the knee hammer, we input the 360 that we need for the spinning pile driver, and then as soon as we're done with the knee attack, we've already put the 360 in place. Now all I have to do is press the punch button, and he instantly grabs her. He comes right, he lands on the ground from the knee attack, and then he immediately grabs her for the SPD. So input buffering is putting in the input ahead of time before you actually do an attack. That's what buffering is performing the attack before you actually do it. That's what you do, like with combos, for example. If you jump in with the jump kick, and you're already pressing the the forward hard punch to get that headbutt. So as soon as he lands, you've just about already pressed the button. So when he lands, he'll automatically do the headbutt. That's the idea behind buffering, is to put it in ahead of time. Well, that's what I'm doing here, okay? So I want you guys to know that when you get in, you get that punch, go in with the knee hammer, put that 360 in. And again, just in case anyone didn't catch the other video, I did a video, I can't remember. I think it was on the how-tos of Zangief, which I will go further with that. I apologize. There's pretty much almost no content there. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm going to be working on these videos as diligently as I can because I have fun doing them, and I hope they're helping you. I really do. And I've got really good feedback from you guys, so thank you for that. That's a, kudos to you guys for thanking me, and I thank you as well. So when you do the input, but basically on the input for the SPD, you don't have to do a 360, okay? In case you missed that video, I'll talk about it here. You don't have to do the 360. All you have to do is like 270. So you don't have to do the whole thing. You basically do like 3/4 of a circle, something like that. And oftentimes I'll do around 250, 260 degrees, and that will be good enough, and it'll go through. So you can test this yourself. Try a little bit less of an input and hit the punch button. If it doesn't work, you haven't done enough of the 360 motion to actually land it. And then try it again with a little bit more. Oh, okay, that's enough. That's all I need to do. Somewhere right around the 3/4 mark, benchmark, something like that. But when in this case with the knee hammer, because he's already in the middle of a move, I don't have to worry about Zangief jumping, right? So I can go ahead and just press the 360 for simplicity's sake, and I know full well that I got it. And you can do this smoothly. You don't have to jump all over those buttons. You can do this pretty gently. I mean, I'm just doing it, and then I'm just doing it, and I'm just doing it. So it's pretty much, it literally is that lax. You don't really have to be, pounding those buttons. You really can do this, a lot more easily than you might think. It's not really that bad. It's just a matter, actually, the hardest thing is getting in there to do it. It's just getting in there to do it. Oh, not quite early enough. Okay, so I need to knock her down, and we'll try it again. So block, punch, knee hammer, SPD. Beautiful. And like I said, you've got the frame advantage. So if you're already buffering the input of the SPD during the knee hammer, you're going to get the SPD because there's nothing she can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Now, I say that, and then I apologize because there may be a, something she can do like V reversal, V trigger, whatnot. It may be possible for her to work around it. Obviously, she could probably V reversal the, the knee hammer. But that's assuming she has the gauge, and also assuming she wants to, give up meter to V reversal meter to do that, because she might want to save it for the V trigger. So you might get the counter, you might not. Have a big deal if you get the counter because you countered her in the first place, and you've already hit her a couple of times. So even if she manages to V reversal part of it, you might not get the SPD, but you've gotten already the standing strong, the knee hammer. If she counters you there, okay, but she's gonna have to be pretty sharp to do that, to be honest with you. I don't see a lot of people that good at V reversal, including myself. I'm not very good at V reversal, actually. That's something I gotta really do here in the training, but I'll work on that definitely, little by little, to get better over time. It's like a it's like a big tree. It takes a lot of swings, and that's pretty much how it is with our skills as Zangief, right, guys? You're working on this just like I am, so just keep going. Just keep working on it a little bit at a time. You'll get it. You'll get it. This will all of a sudden everything begins to come together, and you just see it as one beautiful picture, and it's just like at that point, you've got it and things are good. So okay, so that's most of it. We covered some good counters. We covered some possibilities here. Again, standing strongs are your best bet. You could go in with the heavy kick. Look at this. I just got like 4 or 5 hits off the standing strong kick. Ooh, that's a nice counter. That's basically whiplash her there. That's beautiful. If you can catch her with that. That's just timing though. You see, when I want to get in when it's really safe, that's when it's too late. So, yep, time is off. Yeah, so you kind of have to catch her just as she's hitting the peak. Something like that. Something like that, because she'll get the crush counter. But, you know, that's, if you're going to do the standing hard kick, guys, just do it when it's safe. Oh, that was nice. I love that, because if you ever get her in that twirl, go for the hammer, because that the head butt there, head hammer, headbutt, that works so great. That's just beautiful. That's such a powerful move. It's so devastating. People underestimate that headbutt. That's so devastating. I have just pounded through opponents with that before, and they just could not hold their own. It was great. And not in a bad way, no disrespect to them. I mean, I haven't fought a player that wasn't good, and that's how I feel about it. That's my personal opinion. I respect everybody that gets in here with me in this matchup. Everybody. Total respect. But this is a great, you know, way to do it. So you can do that too. The standing strong kick and the follow-up headbutt, guys. That's a good counter. Now this would work with this would work as well without the crystal ball, I'm assuming. I know I didn't go as far. Oh no, she pulled it back. Yeah, you little bugger. She did, yep. Oh, what is she doing now? Oh, what is that? I didn't program that. I didn't authorize this. Okay, so anyway, I'm just being silly. She didn't have the ball now, so we can do player back, right? You know, get her doing this again. So this is gonna hold true, right? This is gonna be no difference. If anything, this is gonna be easier because she doesn't have the ball. She doesn't have that extra. She has more speed. She does have more speed and a quicker startup. So let's see if this is possible. We can block this, standing strong. Yep, we can do it. All right, guys. So we can definitely do that combo. That is cool. Isn't that cool? Yeah, well, we knew we could do this anyway, but I mean, as far as like if you're in and all of a sudden she just you just got in and she hits you, you can block that. And standing strong, knee hammer, strong SPD, not a problem. Of course, you can preemptive her too. And we can kick, headbutt. That's beautiful. I know it puts her to the ground and you're thinking, yeah, I'd like to get more use out of that. Is it? I don't know. Is it possible? Let's try that. Can we do something different? Can I knee hammer her after I get the crush? That's a crush counter. After I get the crush counter, can I knee hammer? Oh, well, you can, but she sort of just comes down and starts kicking, so. Oh, is that possible, SPD? Wouldn't that be cool? The timing would have to be really sharp, but this is why we're in the training mode. We want to work on this. We need to know. See, this is ridiculous. I just got that. I can't believe I just got that. So that means that I can do standing strong kick, knee hammer, and then SPD. But the timing's gonna be a little sharp on that. You've got to let her land before you finish the input for the SPD and press the punch. You can buffer the input for the SPD slightly, but you gotta pretty much wait to the last second there. You can't be too hasty because it won't work. You can't buffer the input too much. Very little bit. Very little bit. You just gotta know when, and then you can do it. And now I'm doing the light here. 5 frames. Every SPD is 5 frame startup. I should be able to do this strong. Yes. Oh, isn't that cool? It's so much fun. Oh, I love this. So you can do. Okay, so standing hard kick with Menat. Okay, this is 0.8. We're covering standing hard kick with and without the crystal ball. In both cases, we can block her kick either way, do the standing strong punch, knee hammer, SPD. Now the standing strong punch will knock her to the ground if we don't crush counter, right? So make sure you get the crush counter. If you don't get the crush counter, stop and wait. Back off, whatever you gotta do. Don't move in because you could get hurt trying to press the advantage in a bad way. If you knock her down, just do the crouching guard. Like I said, that's one of the best ways to do it. That crouching guard right there is one of the best things you can do. See, because he's always gonna block it. And then when she hits him, oh, it's a block, no big deal. No real punishment. If she moves in for the grapple, well, that's, hopefully you'll get the right read. I can kind of tell because they just stop all of a sudden and they start walking. Yep, I know it. I know immediately, instinctively. It's like instantaneous. I know they're trying a grapple. I know it full well because they wouldn't have stopped punching me unless they planned on grabbing me. So that's a pretty good read there. It's not always 100%. They can critical art. They can surprise you with a critical art or whatnot. But generally, that's what they're going to do. So that's one way, right? We can counter with the standing hard punch, but we can counter with the standing hard kick. Knee hammer, you just got to juggle a little bit there with the timing, okay? You can't just do one thing and immediately do the other thing. You got to let the timing come into play a little bit. But same thing with the kick as it is with the punch. If you get the crush counter, then you can go for the knee hammer in the SPD. A little more of a good timing on this one with the kick. You know, a little more timing with the kick. It's just so cool to know you can do that. Actually, you could do the probably do the EX version too, but do the Borscht Dynamite instead, the air version. But I would say if you're going to do the knee hammer into it, that would be more total damage. So you just got to catch her at the right time, and there it is. Oh no, not quite. So that's a little. Again, that knee hammer can't be too quick. The SPD can't be too quick. Just a slight, just a little delay on the SPD, guys. When you do it, just give a touch of delay. Give her time to land, then do it. You know, just a little. You bring her in here in training and just work on that. But with that standing hard kick, you can counter it. You can get the crush counter, and it can turn into a knee hammer and an SPD, and that damage is devastating. And it looks like it doesn't stack. The two hits did combo, but because there's a delay, look at that. That's beautiful. Because there's a delay, and it's not a full combo, it's not a 3-hit combo because of the delay in between, it technically, the damage gets reset, and you get the full 220 on the SPD. So, wow, look at the damage you can get on this, you know? I mean, you get 90 there, 108 because there's a crush counter, 17 on the knee hammer. I don't know if that's fully right. Is the knee hammer really that? I don't think the knee hammer is really that bad. I think it's more damage than 17. I think it could be because of the whole deal here. 70. Okay. So I don't know what I was seeing there. The 17. I don't know what that was about. Maybe something else. Oh, it's only like 17. You caught him in the air. So they do nerf it a little bit, so you can't get. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's intentional. Okay, but look at the stun damage. It goes from 180 to 270. So even though the damage is nerfed a little bit on that knee hammer. Oh, come on now. You stop it. Just because the damage is nerfed a little bit. The stun doesn't seem to be, though. The stun went from 2-something to, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. It went from 1-something to 2-something. It went from 150, and I think it goes around 210 or 215. Let's watch. I'm just trying to look at the numbers. 270. Wow. 270 stun plus that 250 stun. That's 520 points of stun damage if you can catch her with this. But again, it has to be the crush counter. So it has to be crush counter means you countered them with hit them with a hard punch or a hard kick. That's what gets you the crush counter. Okay? So not everybody knows all that stuff, and neither did I for the longest time. So that's it. That gives you the really good counter on that. Oh, that's beautiful. But you know, again, this is assuming she's gonna keep doing this. This is, you know, again, back with that standing hard punch, or just block, standing hard punch, knee hammer, SPD. Now I wonder if we can we block and kick and get the same effect? Yeah, so you can do that. Okay, get her down. Block. Oh, you have to be so close to that one. Okay, so again, it'll be a timing. I wonder if the standing hard punch has a mess up on timing too, but yeah, I guess so. But it's just a matter of timing. So you can take either route. After you block, you've got time. You've got time because her standing hard kick without the crystal ball still has a startup of 9. So that slow startup allows for the crush tag. And actually, the angle that she does it on is so bad that without the crystal ball, the angle she's kicking on really isn't much of a threat to us. Awesome, awesome. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. I don't think I have anything else really. Final thoughts on that would be that, you know, all of her standings in general are your best bets. Looking back now at all of her standing normals, you can counter most of them with the standing strong punch and the standing strong kick. You know, you can refer to the individual videos where there was exceptions to that. I think the standing, what was it? Standing hard punch, where she throws it down at your feet. I think that was one of the exceptions because the upper body armor on this standing punch would not cover you when she hits you in the ankle. So the standing hard punch was like one of the exceptions, you know, etc. But for the most part, by and large, all of her standing normals can be countered with the standing strong punch and the standing strong kick. The lariat is a decent option, but we have seen if you're not good with the timing on those on hitting her, lots of times you'll get kicked back. She'll get the counter hit on you. So lariat used with caution. Mediums will work sometimes. So when you can do the mediums, I recommend it because the mediums have a quicker startup as opposed to a slower startup. So do the mediums when you can, every time you can, but just be aware of most of the time you're going to have to do standing strong kicks, standing strong punches. Watch for the crush counters. Be ready for a crush counter so you can go in double dash. Or in some cases it was just you were next to her anyway. Just go ahead and do the knee hammer into the SPD, because if you crush counter her, she cannot counter hit you with anything because her frames are so negative on those crush counters that you have plenty of time to do the knee hammer with the follow-up SPD. As a rule of thumb, too, in saying that, if you can land the knee hammer, you can land the SPD. Now, I know someone's going to say, well, if she blocks that knee hammer, you're -3 frames. You're absolutely right. That would put Zangief in a bad position for the most part. However, I'm assuming that you did the knee hammer after the crush counter, which is a completely different story because she's no longer actually physically possible for her to block the knee hammer, which means you did get the hit. And that hit confirmed. You're guaranteed to get that hit. There's no way she can block that. As long as you got the initial strong punch or standing strong kick. As a crush counter, she's going to be twirling in the air if it was a kick, or the standing punch should be like, oh, ow, that hurt, you know, and she'll be recovering, and during that time you can knee hammer SPD. So great counters, great ways to do this. The Siberian Express was good for every single standing attack she has. It will work every time. If you got the meter, you know, you don't always have to save the meter for the critical art. Sometimes it's good to do the EXs, especially in her case. You know, if you see a good situation, you got full meter, you want to get the critical art, you know, you got an opportunity to do it, that's another thing. You can knee hammer into the critical art. So if you get the crush counter and you get the knee hammer follow up, you are able at that point to do that. In fact, let's just see that in closing here. I know I said it was done, but let's just, you know, let's just see. Block, crush counter, knee hammer. Oh, I was too slow. I'm probably gonna have to stop her because I can't. Okay. Get the crush counter. You can do it from a range. You know. Oops. Yep. As long you can do that. So as long as you get the crush counter confirmed, you can knee hammer her, and once you get the knee hammer, if you can land an SPD with a startup frame of 5, you can surely land a critical art because it's only a 1-frame startup. And you can buffer the 2 360s for the critical art. Go ahead and buffer that during the knee hammer, and by the time you're done the knee hammer, you've got the critical art. Remember, it's 2 360s and any punch button for the critical art. So standing strong punch into the knee hammer, into the critical art. Beautiful. She cannot block that because she has negative frames on that knee hammer, and she can't block the knee hammer because you just crush countered her. and she's negative dozens of frames. I'm not even really sure the crush counter negative frames. Not sure on that one. I know it's really high. It's definitely high. It's got to be in the 10 to 15 ballpark, because that's really high. Because you know how I know that too, is because that knee hammer, I believe, is that knee hammer is 12 frames startup, and I had no problem landing it. So, and I walked in a little bit before I did it. So if I landed that, she's got to be like, that crush counter has got to be putting her in like a negative 18 or a negative 20 frame data, something like that. It's got to be pretty big, because she could not, you know what I mean? She could not block that knee hammer. That knee hammer has a ridiculous 12 startup frame. It's not bad. It's such a great move, but I'm making a point here. If we can land that, she couldn't have had very good frames. She had to be negative for that to hit. So that's a possibility, right? That's awesome. You can get the critical art off that. So it's so cool, okay? So that's something else to be aware of. So great, guys. I think I loaded you with enough. So thank you.